So what is my dream job? That is a great question. Well, way back at the beginning of the semester, back, collaboration session 1 months ago. Uh, it seems like forever ago, but I actually talked a little bit about how I want to, run a fashion company at some point, and I still think that would be a great end goal for me. I think that at some point running some sort of clothing label would ultimately be my end goal, because I would love to do something like that and not just make it a hobby, but turn it into a profitable business, something that I can support myself with, because I have a great passion for it and I have a great drive for it, and I think it would be a field that I could succeed in. But unfortunately, the problem with those fields is that you can't just jump into them. Hobby and arts based career fields are very hard to break into, and people that try to put them as the forefront of their focus tend to, quite frankly, spend a lot of time being broke. And so I've chosen to put that on the back burner for right now, and I've chosen to become an accountant. And so the overall game plan, I suppose, to get to my dream job is to really get out into the private sector accounting field and really have the opportunity to establish myself and make some good money as a young adult once I get out of college, and really just kind of use a newfound upper level professional income to begin my business. Because at that point I can start it off as a hobby. I can make 3 pieces a season, 100 runs of each piece. You have, it's a relatively small startup cost to do something like that, as opposed to doing a whole line of like 16 pieces and 1,000 runs of each piece, like a big name designer like Ralph Lauren or somebody like that would do. And that's kind of my end goal, is that once I begin to I guess earn, for lack of a better term, real money out in the business field, I would like to start pouring that into my own independent business, and hopefully getting that to take off one day eventually. And so pardon me, excuse me. But as far as the compensation package, reality versus fiction, and what would be great to receive versus what I'd probably actually receive, in the beginning, you have no overhead. When I start, I'm simply going to be outsourcing things. I'm going to pay a independent party, third party clothing manufacturer that will assemble all of my stuff somewhere else, and that'll be just about my only expense. I have no employees, I have no nothing. So all of the bottom line compensation that I receive would effectively just be the remaining profits after you remove cost of goods sold and whatever associated factory overhead I'd have to wind up paying in doing a project like that. But as a business like that grows, you start bringing in more and more employees. You start eventually you have to address the possibility of, do you want to open a store? Do you want to start selling to third party retailers like Macy's? Do you want to go out and sell your product to Zumiez, to PacSun, to wherever your target market is? And all of those items have associated costs with that, and every branch that you extend out from your company becomes an expense, which is from the view of a business owner, directly takes against your compensation. And so the good thing is that I suppose the good thing is that, being a business owner, I get to choose my compensation package. I can decide whether or not I want to get employee health benefits, I guess, through the company that I establish, because I can choose to be a part of group rates at some point, once I build up enough employees, and once there's an incentive to provide that for a staff that I have. I can also choose to be a part of that. I can also choose to I guess once the business is successful, I can kind of choose to establish my own. It wouldn't really be a defined benefit plan, but I mean it would more or less function like a defined benefit plan, because I could hold aside profits for later dispersal, after my retirement. And I think the cool thing about being an independent business owner is that I would kind of get to decide on what my compensation package would be, and more or less at the end of the day, my compensation would be directly affected by the amount of raw profit that I can bring in. And I think that's kind of a pretty interesting concept, as opposed to working for an employer and here's what you get, here are your health benefits, here's your 401k, here's your overtime pay, here's what you get on sick time, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.